who am I, is answered by tattvam asi, which in Sanskrit means you are it, or thou art that. You are not nama rupa, you are not name and shape, you are not the body ego. You have a larger identity, which was the creative principle in the universe, with the creative energy of the universe, the Hindu term being Atman Brahman for that. Now, this is not a philosophical speculation. This is something that can be pragmatically tested. And in non-ordinary states, you can have the experiences of your boundaries melting and your consciousness expanding so that it encompasses much larger units, becoming other people, experiencing group consciousness, experiencing identification with various animal species, identification with archetypal beings, visits to archetypal domains, and so on. And there's also a very significant experience in which you can have a sense of becoming the divine, becoming the creative principle itself, the experience of Brahman, the Tao, the Great Spirit, the cosmic Christ, whatever the name is in different spiritual traditions. So this is the term, holotropic, means that these states somehow can take us step by step, sometimes smaller steps, sometimes bigger steps, to the reclaiming of our sort of cosmic identity, of our larger identity. And as you know, wholeness is also related to healing. There is a healing that seems to be happening in this process of melting of the boundaries, if the states are properly integrated. So what's the difference between these holotropic states and the other non-ordinary states, or the altered states? First of all, if you have a trivial delirium, if you have a psychotic, organic psychotic state, there's usually disorientation in terms of person, place, time. People might not know who they are, where they are, what's happening, what year it is. There is impairment of the intellect, there is amnesia after those states, and so on. None of it happens in this holotropic variety. Here the change of consciousness is very profound, but also very, very subtle. He still remains sort of connected with this reality. We can operate. We know where there are bathrooms, or that there are bathrooms, and we know where we are. We know who we are. With the exception of spiritual emergency, we know why we are in that state. We're just in a shamanic ritual, or we've just taken some psychedelic, or we are doing a holotropic workshop. So we know we are still in touch with the everyday reality, but at the same time, another reality or realities are invading our field of consciousness. So we would have each foot in a different reality. Eugene Bleuler, when he was describing psychosis, he referred to it as double bookkeeping, doppelte Buchführung in German, to be in two realities at the same time. Another characteristic of the holotropic state would be powerful emotions that cover a much wider range than what we experience in everyday life, where the extremes are the extremes that have been described in spiritual religious literature. For example, on one side you can have ecstatic rapture. You can have a state of bliss, of peace that passes all understanding, celestial, paradisian kind of states. On the other side, there could be hellish state. There could be abysmal despair. There could be tremendous anxiety. There could be profound feelings of guilt, and then anything in between. The intellect is changed in a very interesting way. It's not impaired in holotropic states, unlike in the trivial deliria. The intellect functions in a fundamentally different way. So there are certain situations for which the holotropic changes in intellectual functioning are not great. I wouldn't like to be in a holotropic state when I have to do my taxes, for example. Or it's not good for driving the car. If you are a pilot landing a 747, you want to be in a different kind of state of consciousness. I call that state hyelotropic. Hyle means matter, trapein again, moving towards. So it's matter-oriented consciousness, which is the everyday consciousness in which we experience ourselves as Newtonian objects, living in a Newtonian world, where space is three-dimensional, time is linear, everything is connected with chains of cause and effect, and so on.